Hey, Greg Sokolski here, sports analyst with the NFL. Little Cowboys work, but high school today. So welcome to the Twin Cities Championship Bowl, and we're going to have a good time.
Good afternoon, everyone. TSB Television proudly presents high school football. Yes, you heard right, high school football. We have the Twin Cities Juniors and Under Championship game here at Mall of America Field at the Metrodome. Today's teams are the Minneapolis South Tigers and the St. Paul Johnson Governors. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. Welcome, everyone. I'm Mike Peden here with Chris Carmen. Our first game out here at the Metrodome. Now, Chris, this is a JV and under team. What does it mean to have the younger divisions come and compete for a championship at a venue like the Metrodome?
Well, it's a great opportunity to have the kids come together and really gel as a team a year before the season actually starts. And so it's a good opportunity to really have the underclassmen take ownership of the team and really set the tone for next year.
Now, tell us, what does it mean for these players to come down here at the Metrodome, the site where we have the high school tournaments, the Vikings, the Gophers used to play here, but now the Twin Cities gets their moment in the spotlight?
Yeah, it's a real great opportunity, and I know the kids are really excited about it. I remember when I played in high school and we got to come to the Dome, and coming from a town that didn't really play here a lot, it's really a great opportunity. I know the kids are really excited.
And any thoughts on the teams? Johnson, of course, the big powerhouse in the St. Paul City Conference. Minneapolis South, 6-2, tied for the conference championship this year.
Yep. Well, Johnson, we didn't play in the regular season, but I know that they just lost last night to De La Salle by, I think, 2 points. So, I'm not sure how their guys' energy level is going to be. Probably pretty worn out after last night. I know we've been practicing for a week and a half, and I know we're ready to go, and we didn't get to play Johnson, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, we'll find out who's ready to go. Stick around. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got the organizer of this event, Greg Sokolski. He's been all over the place today, and so your thoughts on this action?
What we're trying to do at the local level, this is where it all starts. The attitudes, the love of the game, fundamentals, all these things start right here.
It also proved that we could have just more than the Juniors and Under Championship and the Youth League Championship here. We were talking we could have the Twin Cities Championship game between the varsity teams here. This is a very fine facility.
Absolutely, and I think the one thing we don't do in Minnesota in all sports, I don't care if it's golf, baseball, football, is take advantage of the opportunity, not only facilities but weather. We've had golden opportunities with the weather we've had to play football.
Obviously, the high school state tournament plays the semifinals and finals here. You have the Vikings, but unless you make it to that big stage, you don't get a lot of chances. Well, now you do.
You have to be visionary. I think one thing that's happened in Minnesota especially at this last gubernatorial election, all three governor candidates, not one of them talked about the future of sports in Minnesota. Yet when we were the number 3 market in the country in the early 90s, they called him Governor Goofy, but Governor Perpich had a vision. We created the facilities. We had the Super Bowl here, which he brought here in '92. We had many events, the Olympic Training Center. All these things happen because of a vision, and we've lost the edge. In fact, the '96 Olympics, Minneapolis St. Paul actually had the bid till Coca-Cola came in on a 12th hour decision, and that's why they call them the Coke Olympics in Atlanta. They snuck it away from us. So we need to get the edge again, and that's vision. Now, the vision you see from St. Paul Parks and the Minneapolis Park Board, no money, no involvement. So it makes it tough. You talk to the Minneapolis St. Paul City Conference, can't do it. So it's outside agencies like NFLPA, NFL Players Association. I did a lot with the NFL Viking alumni for 20 years. It's going to be advocates from the outside to give the impetus for these kinds of events to happen.
Well, thanks for taking the time to
Well, we're glad to have you guys to do this. I mean, the kids love it. I mean, the high school kids, just to have it on TV, just have the opportunity to be here. So hopefully we'll be doing bigger and better things together.
Now, we will have interviews for you throughout the contest from Greg Sokolski and his son, Lance. And as much as people like to complain about this place, for an event like this, very suitable facility.
Very suitable. If anybody was out there for the first playoff game where it was like Minnesota's very own version of a hurricane, it doesn't get much better than being in here.
Kickoff, South will return. heading to the 30-yard line, and he's run out of bounds. Devin Lumbar, who will be both the defensive back and wide receiver for this game. And speaking of starting lineups, let's take a look at that offense. Jalen Bynum is the starting quarterback. You just saw Lumbar. He was one of the receivers, along with Bowen Schwank and Grant Wilson. The running backs are Mark Akpaka and William Pearson. The offensive line, Kirk Atwater, Andrew Peterson, Chris Lundell, Kern Wilson, and Dennis Gilbert. First and 10. We play 12-minute quarters here at the high school level. And it's a handoff to Akpaka. Akpaka with room. He's at midfield. And before he's brought down from behind, they spot him at the 41-yard line. Mark Akpaka. I talked with Lenny Sedlak last night. He said, watch out if he gets in the open field. There you have it.
Yeah, very explosive back. One of the juniors that South had playing this year played behind a couple of our seniors, but looking for a chance to really set the tone for the next year.
So first and 10 on the first play, and I thought Johnson might have drawn offsides as it's another handoff to Pearson. He gets a yard on the play, no flag, so Johnson got back on side. Their starting defense is on the defensive line, Michael Wilson, Eric Kuzabowski, Wayne Sadek, Alan White, and we'll get to the rest of the lineup shortly. Second and 9. It's a handoff to Akpaka. Akpaka almost wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, and he gets back to the 40. So a long third down coming up for the Tigers. Linebackers Eric Gonzalez and Jesse Flynn. Secondary Trey Griffin, Trokan White, King Zhong, and there you have the Johnson defense. Third and 10, and Johnson will get called for the encroachment penalty. Makes it 3rd and 5, and so how does that change the play calling for Minneapolis South?
Well, Minneapolis, they'll probably, start passing a little bit. True freshman playing today at quarterback, Mike. So we'll have to see what pass routes they've got down.
So a 3rd and 10 becomes a 3rd and 5 after the encroachment penalty. Hand off to Akpaka, and he gets wrapped up. Maybe gets a yard. And 35 yards out. Does South go for it here?
Definitely.
Fourth and 3, ball at the 34-yard line. South going for it here. Makes sense at the JV level. Flag, whistle the ball dead. We'll check the marker. It appears it's on against the Tigers, and it is a false start. Illegal procedure. And that puts it back to 4th and 8. Not what South was looking for. Fourth and 8, they have to get the ball past the 31-yard line for the first down. South lining up in the standard I. There's a fake, and the pass over everyone's head. Charlie Metcalf was the intended receiver, and Johnson will get the ball over on downs. We'll get a chance to look at their offense. Quarterback Doug Siechlag. The tight ends are John Plashko. There's one tight end. The receivers, Donja Thompson and Damari Pittman. and the other tight end, Andrew Meisner. The running backs, Kiera Rhodes and Baron Taylor. Offensive line, Tony Chang, Alex Toney, Jonah Kramer, Brandon Parks, and Andrew Flores. Siege log, standard eye. Johnson's first offensive series of the game. And it's a handoff to Taylor. Taylor looking to turn the corner, and he does, just short of the first down line. South defense for you. Defensive tackles, Brandon Crutcher, Nathan Fantasia. Defensive ends, Luke Dugan and Alex McCormick. Linebackers, William Pearson, Charlie Metcalf, and Dominique Kerr is also on the roster. And we'll get to finish up that defense for you momentarily. 2nd and 5 for the Governors. Another handoff to Taylor. Taylor with some space, he's got the first down, cuts inside instead of going out of bounds, but good enough for a first down. And to finish up that South defense for you, the defensive backs, Devin Lumbar, Mark Ekpaka, and Brandon Strong. First down for Johnson at midfield. Another handoff to Taylor. Gets about 3. Johnson going with 3 running plays. Are they looking to make that South rushing attack honest?
I think so, Mike, and it appears that they're blocking really well. They're opening up the holes in the middle. There's no reason to think why they won't continue to pound the ball on the ground.
3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
Charlie, watch your side.
It's a handoff this time to their deep man, and he breaks the first down. That is number 5. That was Baron Taylor. Another first down. Johnson running the ball 4 times so far. They have yet to throw. As they continue moving downfield, they're at the 37-yard line. Going with the run this time. It's actually a fake run, and it's a pass to number 6. And he's wrapped up at the 25-yard line. That'll be another Johnson first down.
Yeah, it looks like Johnson's strategy is going to be to run it and bring all of South's guys as much in the box as they can, and then maybe run some bootlegs and some rollout passes.
So they get the first down on the play action. We will work to get the number for you. Johnson, of course, playing last night, so some of the jerseys are not necessarily with the right players. Not a lot of time to prepare for this game. But 1st and 10, you wouldn't know Johnson played a game last night with De La Salle. Flag on the field. Should be a false start against Johnson, and it is. And if there's one thing that can kill your momentum on an offensive series, it's the false start penalties.
Definitely. And you know, I'm from Minneapolis, but to be honest with you, you've got to feel for Johnson here a little bit, playing that game last night against De La Salle.
Handoff to Taylor, and he's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Alex McCormick on the tackle. Great penetration by McCormick.
Yep, and this is his first time playing D-end this year. He was previously a tackle on the JV, so he's really looking to utilize his speed out there.
2nd and 20. Remember, Johnson got called for the false start penalty. So they have a long way to go. They have to get the ball past the 15-yard line for a first down. Sietschlag, that pass is deflected. It was either Luke Dugan, I believe, is the one who got the deflection.
Yep, Luke Dugan playing the other defensive end spot.
6'1", 220 pounds. 3rd and 20. And this is just like we saw South in their first offensive series, moving the ball down, and then once they get into enemy territory, it just stops.
Yep.
So 3rd and 20, again, South must get the ball past the 15-yard line to convert. They're running a standard I again. Play action. Sietschlag under pressure, and he just heaves it. That ball is easy pickings, but we have a flag. The South could not make the pick. We'll check the marker. If this is against South, this would be a killer. Illegal contact or pass interference, which is illegal. So that's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down, and that just kills you.
Somewhat surprising, Mike, that that neither team came out when they had 3rd and long, and they both came out in standard running formations. I believe both came out in the I. Neither had 4 receivers out there.
Scoreboard hasn't been adjusted yet, but now they're spotting the ball. That was a pass interference called. They were referees just making sure that it was pass interference and not an illegal contact. They rule it a 10-yard penalty. Now, in high school football, I think pass interference, it's a set yardage.
Right, correct.
Is it 10 at the JV level?
It is 10 at the JV
Okay,
level,
so
yep.
15 at the varsity, 10 at JV. In any case, it's still 3rd down. No automatic first down as I thought they would have had, but Johnson with a much shorter field. And we'll see if Taylor can convert, looking to turn the corner. No flag this time, and South holds. Give South credit for keeping their heads in there.
Yeah, and tackled by number 9, Charlie Metcalf, one of our leaders this year on the varsity team, and really looking for him big things out of him next year.
Johnson will go for it here, 4th and 8.
Go.
Standard I formation again. Trey Griffin this time, it's a Wildcat. Direct snap. South defense wasn't fooled.
Wouldn't be surprised to see both teams going for it nearly every time today.
Kicking game not quite as strong at the JV level, and even some varsity teams elect to forgo the kicking game. And we're not just talking smaller schools. Some of the big schools will sometimes go for 2 all the time.
Yeah, it's a big thing in high school, and like you said, especially at the lower levels, very hard to develop a kicking game. It almost takes a coach dedicated all the time to working with the kickers.
So we'll get another look at the South offense led by Jalen Bynum. It's a pass, and no good. Charlie Metcalf, the intended receiver. That was Elijah Ellison, who was put under center. So South trying a little wildcat of their own. Oh, they take him off.
Yeah, Elijah normally playing running back, so he's the backup quarterback, and probably going to try things out. As I said, they've got a true freshman, Jalen Bynum, at quarterback today. So not a lot of experience at the upper levels.
Bynum, 5'10", 160-pound freshman. Flags on the field. And what does it mean for a guy like him to be playing at the Metrodome, the site where we've seen a lot of history with the Vikings, as we have penalty against Johnson. move the ball 5 yards.
Well, it's got to be an unbelievable opportunity at that age. I remember I played here my first time as a senior in high school in the playoffs, and that in and of itself was an amazing experience to be a freshman and coming out here and leading your team for really the first time. There's got to be a lot of different things going on.
We have movement on the line. Another offsides penalty against Johnson. And they will get the first down, or South will, by virtue of the penalty. Well, that's the easiest first down I think South's going to get all game.
Yeah. I was the 9th grade coach, and Jalen was my quarterback. Really did a good job developing his hard count this year.
Watching a little Brett Favre action over in the Vikings. This time they do get a playoff. It's a handoff to Akpaka, and Akpaka gets to the 35-yard line for a short gain. Yeah. That guy. Go ahead. I'll roll it in. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Split back formation this time. It looks like they're lining up on the weak side. And they do. It's a handoff to Pearson. Pearson gets a couple more yards before he's brought down. Jordan Cusick looked like he got his tackle, and he did. So 3rd and 5. What does South look for here?
Well, probably going to come out and try a pass. They might try their dump pass to their tight end again. They tried that on the last 3rd down attempt. As I said, not a lot of work with the passing plays with the freshman quarterback. Probably not going to see him come out in a lot of spread or multi-receiver offenses.
Big 3rd down here, and Akpaka looks like he's close, just a little bit short. Eric Gonzalez with the tackle. They spotted at the 42, just short. It's going to be 4th and 1. You have to imagine South's going to go for it here. I guess, do they have any punters on the squad?
I don't believe that they have a punter out here today. Their punter was a senior, so no seniors playing in this for South.
So once again, a 4th down conversion. They get it to Pearson. Where will they spot it? The officials do not give Pearson the first down. Gonzalez stops him short, and Johnson will take over.
That's good. Let's go.
They need to get it to the 43, and it looked like it was inches short.
Inches short. Kind of surprising they didn't do a measurement there.
.247 left in the first. We're still scoreless. Minneapolis South and St. Paul Johnson in the Juniors and Under Twin Cities Championship game. Seachleg under center against. Johnson continuing the standard eye. Another handoff to their deep man. We're trying to get a name on him still, number 6, and he gets to the 42-yard line. Second and 8 coming up for the Governors. And right now, number 6 is the man of mystery. Seachleg drops back, going deep. The pass is complete. Does he get in? They rule it a touchdown. He just crossed the marker. Yes, they do. Johnson lulled South to sleep and then goes deep for the touchdown pass.
Yeah, he really put that ball right where it needed to be. There was good coverage. Receiver had run a good route, but really it was all about the ball placement there.
Donja Thompson with a 41-yard touchdown reception. And let's see what Johnson decides to do here for the point up. John Plashko will line up for one. So Johnson gets on the board first.
Where does this put the city schools now?
No win to worry about here. Clean snap, kick is up. Pure. So Johnson strikes first. 7-0 is the score with 1:55 left to go. But as you and I both know, in football, 7 points at this stage is not going to win it.
Hi, I'm here with Randall McDaniel, who was, as you know, Hall of Famer with the Minnesota Vikings, works with Team McDaniel, and we're so happy to have him as part of our Urban Bowl with youth football. First and foremost, you have Team McDaniel. I know we have the game that's going on today, and you're a big believer in life skills and education with sports. Give us some of your thoughts that you'd like to see happening here in the urban community.
Like I said, I'd like to see the kids, take full advantage of their opportunities that they're given. In school, in order to, like I said, to play sports, you got to do well in school so people can see you if your dream is to go on and beyond. So if you're given an opportunity to get that education in school so you can participate in the sports and be a good productive citizen out there in the community, that'd be a great thing to see with the young people today.
Well, I know our foundation has always been very glad to have you, and granted we're having the football game today. At the same time, what are some of the goals that Team McDaniel is doing in your own personal life that you see happening?
Well, like I said, we work with our middle school program, and we're teaching kids that think about others other than themselves. We're out there in the community. We're all over assisted living community centers. We do emergency food shelves. So it's all about giving back and learning to be a good, productive citizen.
Great. Now I know, of course, we've always appreciated your efforts. Again, you're working with your own foundation. When you watch football, whether it be high school, college, or pros, what makes you feel good what's happening today, or what are things that maybe kind of bother you, or where would you like to see things go, or are you pretty happy where they're at right now?
I'd probably like to see them go back toward the old school way a little bit more. More young people thinking about the team other than themselves. It drives me a little bit crazy every now and then, my own pet peeve. When you see guys out there celebrating a play as though they did it on their own, and they forget about the team. So in youth sports, I'd like to see coaches get back to talking fundamentals, good teamwork, working together, being accountable for your actions out there. And if they can swing back that way a little bit more, I think it'll be even better.
Great. Now, Randall, we've had this conversation, and so many leaders say exactly what you're saying, and it seems we're getting further away from that. How can we get back to old school football values, education, sports? How is that going to help? And I know your group's doing a good job, but we seem to get further away than closer. How do you think we're going to make that happen?
Well, it's going to have to start from the top down. I mean, we're going to need the professionals and the college coaches talking down to the youth and start demonstrating that even more, where they actually make the players accountable for what they're doing out there instead of giving it lip service. Actually do something for it, have it be a consequence when these guys do something wrong. If it happens at the pros and the college level, it'll naturally trickle down to the younger pros.
Beautiful. Now, this game will be replayed in both Minneapolis and St. Paul for the urban communities. They're also going to have a DVD of this afterwards with the highlights and everything, and when it's put together. So knowing that we have coaches out there, we have parents, and we have a lot of the kids who play in the championship game to be watching this, what is the one message that we can take here on the platform that you want to leave with the folks as they look back on this DVD and this game down the road?
Like I said, my thing I always tell kids everywhere, not just in life and just in sports, just make good choices. I mean, like the choices you make today will affect you tomorrow, so you need to make good choices.
And I'm sure there's parents are looking for advice. What is the one thing you can pass on to parents and coaches to help us get to that old school thought again?
Oh, I mean, like I said, teach them the fundamentals about hard work and leadership, being accountable for your actions. If you do that, I think it'll carry over in the future for young people. Well, it was a pleasure visiting with Randall today, who is a Hall of Famer with the Minnesota Vikings. As you know,
know, it's the 50th year anniversary, the top 50 athletes in the history of the organization, which I'm sure you're going to be nominated to. So we appreciate your efforts, your time, and hope that this message can continue. And so it's back up to you guys upstairs right now.
Johnson to kick off. We'll see how South responds. Madsen with the return, and he gets to the 30-yard line. And so for Lenny Sedlock, what does he tell his players at this point?
Well, I think he tells them to just, remain calm and to keep their heads in the game, to make sure that they're communicating with each other. A lot of new players playing at new positions this game, and without a lot of time to prepare, really relying on each other to help each other out there with the communication.
Let's go, South! Let's go, bro!
South getting stopped twice, turning the ball over on downs. Another direct snap in the Wildcat, and with some open space is Elijah Ellison, and he gets the ball to the 44-yard line for a South first down. Great awareness by him to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, it appeared to be a broken play, and great awareness out there by Elijah to, really break that out and to really cut it upfield.
They spotted at the 43, a 13-yard gain officially, but a first down. And they go back to Ekpaka. It's a handoff to Ekpaka. Bynum is the quarterback. And Ekpaka gets the ball to midfield for a 7-yard gain.
Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Look for him. We gotta hit somebody. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Mark. Mark. Stay low.
And Sedlock
Stay low.
last night said for the South players, and I'm sure Jeff Plaschko would say the same for his Johnson players, it's a chance of a lifetime to play a game here.
It is, you'd have to make it to the semifinals and the playoffs to really to be able to come up here and get a chance to play. And so to be able to have this showcase game is really a great opportunity.
Pearson stopped for no gain. Darius Brown credited with the stop. That might be the last play of the quarter. Third and 3 coming up, and it looks like South is content to let the clock run out, which will give them a few more minutes to strategize their play and the big third down. So that ends the first quarter. Johnson strikes first. It is 7-0.
Hey, we're here with Coach Lenny Sedlock of Minneapolis South. Lenny, how is the couple weeks off? Is it a little rust right now in the first quarter?
Well, maybe a little bit, but it's been good practicing for the last 2 weeks. So I think just coming out here, the kids were kind of edgy a little bit. It's something the Vikings play here, so this is really a great experience for our guys.
Now, what's the biggest thing you're trying to accomplish today? I know you'd like to win the game, have a lot of fun, but are you putting anything new for next year? Because this is the beginning.
This is exactly what this team, we told this group of guys that this is the start of next season. This is what we're doing. So we're working on things that we want to try to do next season already, defensively and offensively. So, it's been really good for us. So, it's kind of a game, like an exhibition game for next year already.
Well, we're treating it like a bowl game. Now, what are your thoughts with the Minneapolis Conference next year? I know you've had some very strong thoughts. How are you feeling about things right now? How the shape of your program is looking and so forth?
Well, the shape of our program is really good. I mean, we have 100 players in our program. We're running 4 teams. I know we're the only team in the conference doing that. My concerns still are we're a 5A school, and if we're going to compete at that level, either we're going to have to go up in a 5A conference, or the other option, which I would really like to do, is merge with the St. Paul schools. Either one, but we're going to have to make some changes, that's for sure.
Any thoughts last night with St. Paul Johnson losing 16-14 to De La Salle? De La Salle didn't even get an offensive touchdown. Where does this put the city schools now?
Well, to me, that was a huge performance for St. Paul Johnson and their conference. It shows that at that level. You know, we can compete as well as they can. So I think it said a lot for the city schools. So
Great. Good luck. Thanks a lot, Mike.
And what I like about this, and I'm hoping this would take off even at the varsity level, is that it gives these teams a chance to play at the big stage. As they don't make it to the state semifinal round, they can at least tell their friends, their kids later on that I got to play at the home of the Vikings.
Right. You know, always a great opportunity, especially, you know, if you're here in the Twin Cities. You know, you're going by the Metrodome every day.
Akpaka's pass is picked off by number 35. Don't have a name for him, but no spiral on that ball. Bynum threw a lob. It was a wobbly ball, and it was just asking to get picked.
Yeah, you know, as we were saying, not a lot of practice this week with this group. A lot of new people at new positions, and especially Jalen playing quarterback. So, you know, gonna expect some miscommunication with the routes between the receivers and the quarterback.
We'll see if South can hold. Johnson looking to take advantage after the interception. Toss to Brown. Brown waits, stutter steps, and brings the ball up to the 46.5-yard line. Akpaka gets the stop, 7-yard gain. Taylor showing his patience on that play.
Yeah, and he really, you know, the speed of this field has got to be a really great thing for these kids to come out here and you know, really be able to show their explosiveness.
There's a certain running back on the Vikings who shows off the speed of this turf on Sundays. 2nd and 2. They elect to go again, this time to number 6. And he's brought down, but not before picking up a first down. 5-yard gain on the play.
Let's go. Find that ball.
And no matter what shape this turf comes in, it's always noted for being very fast. And you see a lot of high schools now going away from the grass fields and switching to turf.
Yeah, you know, it's ultimately, I think it's come to the stage where turf ends up being more cost effective at this point than continuing to maintain the grass fields.
1st and 10 for the Governors. Another toss, this time it's to Taylor, and he's broken wide open. He is gone. See you later. Touchdown, Johnson. That is Trey Griffin with a 47-yard touchdown run. He just found the holes and took off. Only fitting that when we talk about the Metrodome turf, Trey Griffin, a 5'9" junior, comes in and shows it off.
Yeah, you know, once he got through the linebackers and out into the secondary, really turned it on and sliced his way through. Not a lot of opportunities for South to catch him there.
They will line up again for the extra point. John Plaschko, 5'9", tight end. So Plaschko doing a lot, not just on the tackle side. Kick is up, and it stays in form through the uprights. 10:31 remaining in the second. Johnson now up 14-0.
Hi, I'm here with Lauren Feldkamp, the president of the Minutemen organization, which is a part of today's Showdown and urban football. Lauren, give us a little perspective on the Minutemen.
The Minutemen have been an organization in effect since the late 50s. It got together to help sell stadium bonds and season ticket packages to help get Metropolitan Stadium built and bring the Twins and Vikes to the Twin Cities area. Today the Minutemen do goodwill through sports, whatever that entails, amateur and professional sports.
Well, we've heard that the Minutemen used to have a Minneapolis organization, they had a St. Paul organization, now they've combined into one, and under your leadership with Mr. Matt Williams, we hear there's some revitalization, new energy. There's things going on like Mr. Baseball, which never happened. Of course, you had the Mr. Hockey. So where do you see this new vision going with the Minutemen this year?
As the Minutemen continue to do goodwill through sports, the Minutemen will, in 2011, hold the 27th annual Mr. Hockey Awards Banquet. We'll also hold the second annual Mr. Baseball, Ms. Softball Banquet, and we'll hold the second annual Mr. Lacrosse, Ms. Lacrosse Banquet. We continue to just raise funds for youth sports. We have roast and toast of sports celebrities in the Twin Cities and use those events to help raise money for worthy organizations as well.
Well, I do know you have one that's coming up in the very near future with Mr. Bill Peterson and Mike Veck raising money for the urban baseball, secondhand equipment. Anything else that's going to be happening or you'd like to tell folks about membership with your organization?
We are very proud to conclude our events this year with the Mike Veck Luncheon, which will be a fundraiser for the Billy Peterson Dunning Boosters, which helps to raise funds for equipment donations for youth baseball and softball in the Midway area. We will hold more events in 2011 as well as our award banquets to continue that tradition of raising funds for youth athletics.
Well, excellent. Continued success. Glad to have you part of the Showdown Bowl here. And Mike, go back up to Jankowski and back to the play-by-play.
And for South, what do you mention now? You have a 14-0 deficit. It's only 2 possessions, though. Still a lot of time left, so what do you communicate to the Tigers?
Yeah, you want to keep them calm. You don't want to get them out there yelling at each other and not communicating effectively. You get down by 2 touchdowns and things can kind of start to fall apart at communication level. You want to keep their heads in the game and keep them calm and remind them that there's an awful lot of game left to play.
Devin Lumbar returning it for the Tigers, looking for a seam, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. The interesting thing with Johnson, both their touchdowns have come from big plays. We haven't seen either team get to the red zone yet.
No, they haven't, and the closest both teams have gotten, I think, was maybe the 25, and surprising that they are able to come in on these big plays and score. It can be a little disorienting playing down there, especially if it's your first time. The spatial awareness is a little bit off-putting when you're down there. You think you're outside, but yet you're not. And so it can take a little while for the players to gain some awareness of where they're at.
Line him to Akpaka. Akpaka gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's brought down. With the tackle, Alan White. You mentioned spatial awareness. This place, of course, holds 66,000 fans on football games. But it's also enclosed, which is not something high school teams get used to until the state semifinal round.
Right. No real way to prepare for them. I remember in my high school days, we tried to prepare for it playing in the old high school basketball gym, and it's not really the same. Not really the same kind of experience.
Certainly not. We have a flag on the field. Could be illegal motion. We'll check the marker. And with a big tackle is Alan White, who made the stop on the last play as they handed it off to Brandon Strong. We'll check the marker. I've been to the South Gym many times over the years, mainly for girls basketball. And I don't know if that's where they had you play, but I can tell you a high school basketball gym, as they do not force a penalty, the flag is being picked up. A high school basketball gym is nowhere near a football field.
No. And I don't know if it's just that that's all that most schools are able to come up with, and they think that being indoors is better than nothing, but really I think that the biggest disorienting thing about playing here is really just the sheer size of the arena.
3rd and 10, And South going nowhere. Allen White all over the place at linebacker. That linebacker is his official position. Akpaka with the carry. He's running the defensive line today, but we have a personal foul against Johnson, so that is a big break for the Tigers. Late hit. And as a coach, that's the one thing you do not want your kids to do is commit a late hit.
No, it's definitely something that I'm sure all coaches preach against. Tensions are a little high. The adrenaline's really flowing today. Not really surprising to see kids forget rules like that on a day like today.
So 15-yard penalty, and South gets a big break. So instead of a 4th and 10, they get a fresh set of downs at the 40. And they force Johnson off sides.
Jalen, way to have good poise looking around. Good job.
That's the third time today that they've gotten Johnson to jump on defense.
Will, let's go.
Yeah, as I said, Bynum, he really did a good job working on his hard count this year, and was really able to get a lot of teams to jump off sides with it.
So 1st and 5. Johnson, the only weak spot of their game so far has been penalties, especially on defense. They had 2 offsides penalties in a row in their last series, and Pearson doesn't get far. A loss of 1 on the play. Now, you talked about preparing and how there is no place like the Metrodome. What compounds the problem is even at the Division II and III schools around here, none of those stadiums are enclosed.
Right. A lot of the MIAC schools will end up playing some games here, and they often face the same problem. A lot of them, almost all the MIAC schools are turf fields, but again, playing in here has its own special set of characteristics that really require practice time inside.
2nd and 8, so they did give him a couple yards in the carry, and it's a big gain this time for Mark Akpaka as he brings the ball into Johnson territory. At the 44 is where they spot him.
Hey, every time. Hey, we need that excitement. Hey, challenge yourself.
And we mentioned if he gets out in the open field, watch out. There's another example.
Yep. Parker really doing a good job in the last week and a half, filling in and stepping up. We had another one of our good junior running backs, Matt Scott, went down with a strained MCL in the first playoff game against Woodbury. So,
big stuff behind the line of scrimmage. On 1st down, Michael Wilson with the tackle. They credit it to James Flynn, but I saw Wilson get in there too. It was good penetration once again from Johnson.
Yeah, it's got to be a pleasant surprise for these kids to see how much their speed is going to increase on a field like this.
Bynum takes it himself, and he is wrapped up at the 45, so 3rd and long coming up for the Tigers.
You can't cut up on that play. I told you that.
They actually lost a yard on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 13. And you mentioned how you prepare, so is there really any way you can prepare for playing in the Metrodome when there are no similar enclosed stadiums in the state?
No, not really. As I said, teams will often try to practice in gymnasiums. Sometimes they'll go to golf practice facilities. It's about the closest you can get. Really, I think their biggest challenge today is the fact that it's not their original varsity team from the year. It is a juniors and under game. So, the biggest thing is just gelling as a team, I think, for a challenge today.
4th down coming up, a 3-yard gain on the last play for South. 4th and 11 officially. 4th and 10 now. Got to get the ball past the 33-yard line. As Ellison will take it himself. Can he get to the 33? He does, and then some. The 31-yard line. Ellison seems to do well when they go with the Wildcat formation.
Yeah, Ellison's showing a lot of poise out there at quarterback. Really showing off his scrambling ability. As we said, running back by trade.
South once again marching down the field, but they've been stopped cold their last 2 possessions. They're looking to get some points on the board. Ellison in trouble, and he just gets rid of it.
Probably the smartest option there, Mike. Definitely looking to get sacked there.
Grant Wilson was the closest player to him, and it was close enough to avoid the intentional grounding penalty. Do they issue that, though, at the JV level?
They do if it's flagrant enough, but like you said, it's a pretty subjective penalty. Lots of room for interpretation there.
Of course, at juniors and under, still learning the fine mechanics of the game. Pocket with the carry, gets to the 30. So 3rd and long coming up again for the Tigers, but the last time they faced a 3rd or 4th and long, Elijah Ellison just ran it up for a first down, so we'll see if they put him back in. They're electing to stay with Bynum. But you have to think Ellison is ready to go back out there if needed.
Definitely, and I think it's really about getting experience this game. It's a great opportunity for some of these younger guys to really gel with some of the older players.
3rd and 9. In the shotgun is Bynum. Bynum with the pass. There was some miscommunication there. The closest receiver was Bowen Schwenk.
Yeah, definitely miscommunication there. It looked like Jalen had anticipating a deep flag route, and Schwenke just not getting out there, not sure what the communication issue was, but definitely things to work on in the offseason.
And here comes Ellison. So he will take the snap, I presume. They have taken out Bynum, so yes, Ellison will take the snap. He's tried to throw once. Last couple times, he ran for big gains. So we'll see what happens here as he lines up deep in the shotgun. 4th and 9. Wants to throw this time, and he does, into traffic. Devin Lombard, the intended receiver, but really hard to get a pass in there with 4 white jerseys converging on Lombard's position.
Yeah, South had good pass protection there. Had some time to throw, but Johnson was all over the secondary. Really no one open there.
Another turnover on downs for South. They're looking to find some kind of offensive momentum here. 4:49 left to go in the 2nd quarter. There is no 2-minute warning, of course, at the high school level. Johnson going back in the standard eye. Their touchdowns have come on big plays. We haven't seen them get to the red zone yet, neither is South, as Taylor has the handoff and works his way to the 35-yard line. That's where they'll spot him. 5-yard gain.
Yeah, you wonder how the play calling strategy might change in a game like this. No pressure of having to win and go on to another game. So you wonder if teams are going to play it safe with the lead and try to run the clock out, or if they're going to try and have a little fun and keep passing and trying to gain some experience with really some of the more complex plays.
We're still in the 2nd. It's another handoff. This time it's to King Zhang, and Zhang with some space. He gets the first down before he's brought down at the 40-yard line. With the tackle was Elijah Ellison. Johnson electing to use running back by committee. And as you mentioned, the play calling, 25-yard gain on the play officially. You're right, not bragging rights on the line, I imagine, but no worries about being eliminated or having to play next week. It's part competitive, part showcase.
Right, exactly. And you know, it's really, while it would be tempting for a team like Johnson to run the ball out, kind of have to wonder if they're going to continue to attempt, you know, some of their passes and some of the more complex plays, just simply to see, you know, how the kids have a grasp of it and what they can work on for next year.
Zed Glaw, we stopped Baron Taylor in his tracks. No gain on that play. 2nd and 10 coming up. And that has to be a good comfort or cushion, I guess, knowing that there's no big pressure on the line.
Yeah, right. And, you know, we were saying that to the kids all week, you know, that there's no real pressure here.
And Johnson not showing any, going deep again, and that's almost picked off. TJ Matson had his hands on it, and he couldn't bring it down. They were looking for another home run play to Donja Thompson, but Matson got there first.
Yeah, second time this game that South has had an opportunity for an interception. You know, people are probably a little jittery out there. And
Let's go, South.
people are probably a little jittery out there, and you'd have to expect a few drop balls on both sides of the field.
3rd and 10 for the Governors. Need to get the ball past the 30. And they'll look to do that with King Jong. He gets to the 35, 6-yard gain. I imagine Johnson will go for it here on 4th down. I don't think John Plaschko's leg is that strong.
Let's go. Sid, get across the ball.
So what do you tell South? 4th down. You know, Johnson scored on you the last 2 times.
Well, you know, honestly, to expect the run here, you know, they've, like you said, they've got a few different running backs floating in and out. It looks like Zhang is going to be the back again here for this play. You know, really try to keep kids to stay home.
Lyman, find that ball.
Trey Griffin with a direct snap, and he gets the first down. Brought down at the 25-yard line. 8-yard gain on the play. Well, you called it, expect the run, but Griffin went out to the ends, and South couldn't pursue him.
Yeah, you know, I think they were really expecting an inside run there. Kind of surprising, or maybe not surprising, that seen a lot of direct snaps and runs by quarterbacks today with the speed on the field. You know, the fastest route is the direct snap.
Under 2 minutes now. Standard I formation for the Governors. King Jong with the ball, and he's wrapped up, gain of 1. You mentioned the cost effectiveness of going to turf on these high school fields. What other benefits have you seen with the high schools that are going to turf fields? Harding just got a new turf installed. Most of the St. Paul City Conference schools that have stadiums now have turf.
Well, you know, I think as football has gotten to be, you know, really almost the national sport over the last few decades, you know, the expectations have increased that schools will try to, you know, do the best that they can to provide the best opportunities for performance.
Another handoff here, and a great open field tackle. Looks like
that's
TJ Matson got the open field tackle. 40 seconds left. Both teams have all their timeouts. And just as we stated that, Johnson takes their first timeout. So we'd like to remind you that coming up at halftime, Greg Silkowski will present us with some interviews that he conducted before the game and during the game, and we'll roll those for you at our halftime show.
Bob's been very instrumental in getting TCF built, very involved with Gopher football, and we're glad to have him give us insights about the future of Gopher football, especially today's Urban Bowl game. Bob, any thoughts you have on development of young athletes here in Minneapolis St. Paul?
Well, Greg, as you might know, and everybody else knows, I think, the fact that urban football is very, very important. And in fact, we got to have the kids in St. Paul, Minneapolis, take part in some of the programs hope they can eventually get to the point where they might be able to consider the University of Minnesota. I mean, that's, I come from a little town like in Hastings, and so I can relate to urban football when there's a small program and you have to build it up to make it kind of special. So I'm hoping we can do that.
Now, you've worked in football, you're very involved with the program, fundraising, so forth. What are some of the things that you would like parents, coaches out there to see? Because Maroon's in your blood, there's no doubt. And again, this game today is dedicated to building the area and hopefully benefit the University of Minnesota.
Well, I think you're right. And I think the parents, a lot of them probably feel that way. And if they have the wherewithal to help, that's a key. They see their kids out there and working hard, and they kind of have to be part of the thing. They have to kind of figure out maybe some of their other friends can help and do something if they need some help financially. And the parents are very important to make this work.
Now, of course, you're what they might call old school football. What do you see on the field today, whether it be the high school, the college ranks, that may be missing or that you would like to see back in the game, which invariably could help the Golden Gophers here?
Well, what I see, I kind of see what I don't want to see. And in fact, I don't see as many young kids from St. Paul, Minneapolis that are actually going to university. And I'd like to see these kids have a dream where they might want to come to university like my brother Pinky and I did. And the only way you can get that successful, you dream, and then your parents and other people are out there helping make the program better. And the urban kids, we got to make sure they got financial support and go from there.
And you went to a lot of games at TCF the last couple of years, probably every single one of them. What do you see missing when you look in the crowd? Is there anything that today's game or at TCF that you say, you know, I'm kind of looking at this crowd and something's there, or is everything there that you like to see?
Well, I like to see what's there right now. I really feel that the people, when the stadium opened, everybody was there. They were enthusiastic. I remember being on the field with Bud Grant and Coach Wormath. I mean, every one of us had goosebumps how fantastic it was. And I think it continued that way. What I may want to see, maybe a little bit more support from the student body. They come out pretty good, but then towards the end of this year, I thought that they kind of were a little lackadaisical. So I'd like to see more support from the students, and I think the regular general public will be there.
Well, hopefully this game will be a part of that at TCF next year, and hopefully a lot of these students in today's game will be not only students, season ticket holders, and maybe even players. Thanks a lot, Bob, and we'll take it back upstairs to you guys.
Shotgun formation for Seachlag, looking to throw. He's got a man open for a moment. Number 35, the intended receiver, and Bowen Schwenk got his hands in there and forced the drop.
Yeah, good coverage by Schwenke. You know, not sure if that was the tight end that came out there, but definitely a height mismatch there. Always tough for the cornerback.
4th down and 7, 35 seconds left. South has all of their timeouts if they can force a turnover on downs to try something, and why not? This is an exhibition-style game, even though there is a championship on the line. Seachleg handles the high snap, looks to throw again, and once again, Schwenke gets in there. Nothing doing for the Governors, and South gets a stop. That should give them some confidence going into the half.
Yeah, really big stop there. You know, only a 14-point difference with a whole half to play. Not much for the Tigers to get down about here. You know, they can stay positive and maybe just settle down and do what they need to do on offense and put some points on the board.
30 seconds. South has all 3 timeouts. Ellison to throw, and that pass is picked off. King Zhang with the pick. He was looking for Bowen Schwenke, and he just threw behind.
Yeah, you know, threw it a little short, and Zhang's really all over the field in this game on both sides of the ball.
Johnson with 2 timeouts and 23 seconds, and so now the field is flipped and the strategy is flipped.
Strategy has slipped once again, But, to be honest with you, 23 seconds, would not be surprised here to see St. Paul continue to go for it and try and air this out.
Johnson did get a 41-yard touchdown pass earlier in the game. Donja Thompson was the receiver. That happened in the first quarter. Leach continuing to go shotgun. Johnson going with that formation the last few plays, and we have a flag on the play. Delay of game. They do use a play clock at the high school level, even though you don't see it up on the concourse, which I find interesting.
Right, they do. Not up there available. Tough, for the player, especially for the quarterback, to have something to look at. We always see in in college and in pro games when the camera is behind the quarterback, you can always see that clock in his field of vision. So, tough thing for varsity quarterbacks to always make sure that they keep a mental note of what the clock is.
1st and 15, but that's a moot point in a sense. Johnson looking to march down the field, and the pass is almost picked off. 45. Dominic Kerr. Wow, that's the third time South has had a pick go out of their hands.
Yeah, always got to be ready for it. The first 2 times it was a secondary that got it. That time one of the linebackers. And so, understandably jittery out there first time. 2 out of those 3 possible interceptions were by sophomores, but still, got to have those hands ready at all times.
2nd and 15, 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. Seach Lake going under shotgun again, and we have movement on the line. Johnson going backwards, and I've also noticed they've had difficulty getting the snap cleanly to Seach Lake in the shotgun.
Yeah, snaps are a little high. Again, it's one of those specialty skills that really can make or break a lot of games. But at the same time, it takes some time to coach a player to really be a good long snapper.
And I just noticed they're using the professional hash marks. They do not have the high school hash marks that they will in 2 weeks when the state tournament comes here. Number 6 with the handoff, and he's got some space. Breaks through midfield. He's still going. Tries to cut left, and he's brought down at the 38-yard line. The clock will stop to move the chains. I imagine Johnson will use their second timeout, and they do. So 5 seconds left. Time for one more play. We have a South player slow to get up. That's Akpaka. You don't want to lose him, but he's up and he's okay.
Yeah, lots of guys playing both ways on for both teams today. You remove the seniors, you're really removing the biggest segment of the player core, and so not surprising to see a lot of guys really have to go both ways here.
And that's, of course, because next year's seniors are currently juniors, so you can't get the 9th graders to come in and provide a breather just yet. These are juniors and under.
Yep, it's really just juniors and sophomores for the most part. You've got 2 grades, and as we were saying,
don't forget the freshman Bynum.
Yep, freshman Bynum, and it looks like Johnson has a number of freshmen as well. And with South, we play, as we were saying, run 4 teams, and so the sophomores really don't have a lot of experience playing with some of these juniors either, not playing on a lot of the JV games.
5 seconds left. Again, we'll have interviews from Greg Silkowski at halftime. Unless there's a defensive penalty, this should be the last play of the quarter. Another high snap, but Seach Lake fields it, throws, incomplete, and that will bring the first half to an end. So South sweats a couple bullets, and while Johnson's been dominating on offense, the Tigers are not out of this.
No, not by a long shot. Really, I think South's doing a good job on defense. Their pass coverage is quite well. Just need to try and get some of those points on the board. understandably, you've got a backup quarterback with Elijah Ellison playing, and then you've got a freshman at quarterback. So tough to really get the ball going. Passing, going to have to move it along the ground, but luckily only down by 14.
We'll see what adjustments are made when we come back. We'll send you to Greg Silkowski for some interviews.
Hey, I'm here with Danye St. Paul Johnson. Hey, Danye, did you know that was the first touchdown scored by St. Paul Johnson in his building? And how long you think?
I don't know.
It's been about 9 years. You know who the last man that ever scored a touchdown for Johnson here?
No, I don't.
Thomas DePay.
Wow.
So, former NFL player. So how's it feel to be playing in this game today?
It feels good. I got my chance to get a touchdown, and I made it happen.
Great. Now, did you get a chance to play at De La Salle last night?
No, I did not.
Okay. So where do you see the future of Johnson football starting with this game today?
We're a good team, so, yeah. We're a really good team. So just keep playing how we're playing and just get more touchdowns.
Great. Hey, good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Kier Rhodes, and he's been having impressive runs today's game. How does it feel so far?
Feels good.
You remember what kind of plays you ran so far?
What did you say that again?
What play you ran so far on that 120-yard break you had?
Oh, yeah, that was a 32 track. It was a 32.
Yep. And what year are you?
Sophomore.
How do you feel about next year's team?
I feel real good. Everybody's coming back. Everybody's being committed to the team. And, we're going to do it.
All right, that's good. All right, that's all.
Hey, I'm here with the South captains of next year. Say, how are you thinking about this game so far?
I think we have a good chance to win.
Hey, where do you see the program going? I mean, Coach Sedlock has told me that you guys are the leaders of next year. This is like a bowl game in a college ranks where we're building to next year. Where do you see next year's program?
I see it like getting more diverse. A lot of our players are in the process of development, so it's going to be a great program next year. So look forward to it. That's all I can say.
How's practice been this week with the weather and getting ready for the Metrodome and so forth?
It's been it's probably been more disciplined than most of the season, and so we're working hard.
Why would you say it's been more disciplined right now?
Everyone's focused. We were told we were going to play in the Dome. We're excited.
Minneapolis City Conference, where do you see it going next year? St. Paul Johnson almost had a great game last night, almost knocking off, and probably should have knocked De La Salle. Where do you see the conference going?
I see it only going up pretty much. With the loss of North High, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But with that being said, South, I see the conference and everything going up. Minneapolis, is a great area. So, why not? Positive.
Well, you guys are considered with Minneapolis Southwest the front runners. Where do you see yourself next year, Southwest and Washburn?
I think we're going to win it, except it's not going to be a three-way tie again. And I'm pretty sure of that. Pretty excited.
All right. Have fun. Good luck to you. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Mike.
Welcome back to Mall of America Field at the Metrodome. Mike Peden here with Chris Carmen as we bring you the Twin Cities Juniors and Under Championship between Minneapolis South and St. Paul Johnson. Johnson holding a 14-0 lead as we start the second half. Two big plays, neither team getting into the red zone, but Johnson making the home run plays. The first one, a 41-yard touchdown pass from Doug Seachleg to Donja Thompson, and then a 47-yard touchdown run by Baron Taylor in the second quarter. And that recaps our scoring.
Wouldn't be surprised here, Mike, to see South come out with the onside kick.
We saw that in this year's Super Bowl. The New Orleans Saints employed that trick, and it paid off. Led to the big drive, and it is on sides, but it's not going to go far enough. And South will huddle up.
Good 3 yards short on that. Tough if you're a new kicker to try and get the hang of those onside kicks. Really have to strike the ball almost in the opposite direction. Want to hit it on the top and going down. And it's hard to get that good bounce. If it doesn't, it's just going to roll.
But you saw what South did, huddling the ball because that is still live for Johnson to touch, so making sure they wouldn't get a big return off that. But Johnson will start in enemy territory.
Yeah, always the danger kick that onside, hoping to change the momentum at halftime. But, they don't get it. That's the downside, is it gives the other side, half the field only to work with.
First play of the third quarter, another handoff to Taylor. Taylor going left, still running, and he's brought down at the 33-yard line.
Dog, get in there for Barry. Come on. Barry, let's go, Josh.
Really good vision there by Taylor, Mike. Head was really on a swivel there, and really able to make some good cuts to gain some extra yards.
37-yard line is where they spot him. That should be good enough for a first down, and it is.
Inside, Brandon. Let's go.
Johnson, for years, a run-heavy type team.
Oh, there we
And
go.
as they say that, Kier Rhodes gets the handoff, number 6. Number 6 is Kier Rhodes, a 5'9" sophomore. But Rhodes doesn't get much in the play. And that's been Johnson's strategy for years. Run the ball, make the passes when they need to, but pound the ball and try to wear out the opponents on the ground.
Yeah, in high school, it's really while they have a lot of the innovation in formations and play calling comes at the high school levels. Tend to see some of the more safer plays really as far as percentage between run and pass.
And just as we say that, a pass is complete from Seachleg to John Plashko, and we have a flag that may have been a face mask from Devin Lumbar, but we'll check the marker.
Looked like it could have been a horse collar too. They've been calling that a lot this season. Really worried about potential injury on that.
It is a horse collar tackle, and that's not allowed. So that will add a few more yards to the end of that play. That was a 24-yard or 18-yard pass.
Yeah, really a tough penalty to get. On a big gain like that for South, really going to put them deep down. First time I believe we've actually seen them in the red zone today.
First and goal, and you're right. Rhodes and Taylor in the backfield for the Governors. They continue the standard I. Going with the run. Taylor breaks through one tackle, but he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. The Tigers close in on their prey. Give credit to the defense.
Yeah, good job there by pursuit on the lineman on the backside. A lot of times that you have a fast back like that can really read and make cuts will oftentimes cut back and burn you on the weak side. But good pressure and staying home by the line.
6-yard loss, second and goal. Seachleg, another pitch. This time it's to Griffin, and Griffin gets out of bounds at about the 9. So back to the original line of scrimmage. It's third and goal.
Johnson really rotating their backs in here, doing a good job with the running back by committee, and really beneficial for keeping your backs fresh, and you can really use it to pound the ball in.
Rhodes and Griffin in the backfield this time for the Governors. Play action, Seachleg finds Rhodes, but Rhodes is stopped at the 5-yard line. 4th and goal. We have seen Plashko kick extra points for Johnson. We'll see if he comes out now. Plashko doing everything, making catches. Kicking extra points. And they elect to go for it here on 4th down, so they're not going to go on Plashko's leg, and I suppose it's a championship game, why not go for it? 4th and goal, they need 7 yards to score. Seachleg looking to throw over the head of Damari Pittman, and South catches a big break after that horse collar penalty.
Yeah, really big break there for South. First time that Johnson's really had a 1st and 10 inside the red zone, and really lucky that they were able to hold it out there.
Let's go, South. DJ.
That's the downside for South. They have to march the ball 93 yards to score, and they've had trouble moving the ball when they get to about the 30-35. They've yet to enter the Johnson red zone.
Yeah, and one has to think that Johnson is really going to stack a lot of guys in the box there and really try to stop South for a loss here.
Minneapolis South takes a timeout at their first of the half. Timeouts reset, of course.
Hey, we're here in the South section. They're a little lively right now. They're up 14-0. I'm with Taylor. And Taylor's here. Who are you watching today?
William, number 41.
Okay, who's number 41? Is he brother, cousin?
Cousin.
Friend? Uh-huh. How's it feel to be at the Metrodome watching a game?
Pretty good.
Okay. No, you're a Vikings fan too?
Absolutely,
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's going to win this game today, Taylor?
I'm hoping for South.
Got a girl. Hey, have fun now.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Mike.
Explain why South would call a timeout at that point in the game. Is it because they're pinned deep, or were they looking at a specific game plan?
Probably, pin deep and want to make sure that there's no errors or miscommunication. Like I said, timeouts, the strategy of this game might be a little bit different than a game that was, say, like in the playoffs or regular season.
And Apaka takes care of that short field in a hurry. South with some breathing room. An 18-yard run by Mark Apaka.
Yeah, really big run by Apaka to get him out of that, within the 10-yard range. It's really gives him some room to work with here.
1st and 10 from the 25.
Let's go, Tigers!
Apaka has come up big when they give him an open lane to run through. This time they go to Pearson, and Pearson gets stopped for no gain.
Yeah, Johnson's tackle is really doing a good job of stopping those inside lanes, really forcing South to almost completely run outside.
South will try again. Of course, this will be a big precursor as we have the younger teams coming out. We'll have the rec teams following this game. Good primer as I come back here in 2 weeks to call the state semifinals for grandstadium.tv. Bynum looking to draw Johnson offsides with the hard count, can't do it. It's a pitch from Ellison. He's going deep, and it's almost complete, but it goes through the hands of Bowen Schwenke. That was a great halfback option.
Yeah, not really expected there. They thought that the quarterback was rolling out and, really left that weak side receiver alone. You can get away with one of those halfback passes about once or twice a game and really need to capitalize when you've got an open receiver like that.
A microcosm of South Day to this point. Big plays going right through their hands on both sides of the ball. 3rd and 10. Handing off to Apaka. Apaka gets behind, past the line of scrimmage, and he races his way forward for the first down. They will spot him at the 38-yard line. Johnny Salas with the tackle. Mark Apaka brings his team right back.
Yep, heads some good downfield blocking there by the lineman. And really another great cut. It's got to be a lot of fun for these running backs to come out here and really realize how fast they can make their cuts and gain yardage going back the other way.
Y'all gotta want it. Let's go.
Fresh set of downs for the Tigers. Standard I formation. A handoff to Pearson. Pearson again stopped for no gain. That was Apaka with the ball.
Yeah, South not really having a lot of other running backs at their disposal to use, like Johnson has had. Parker really the only one that's been doing a lot of the running.
Let's go, Devin! Let's go, Mark!
Flag on the field. It's another halfback pitch, and this one is intercepted. We'll check the marker for the moment. Andre Smith-Brewer, 5'7" sophomore, makes the interception. We'll check the marker. The flag came behind the line of scrimmage just as the ball was being snapped. Illegal motion. That penalty is declined. Another tough break for the Tigers after stopping Johnson and 4th down.
Yeah, and a little surprising to see him go with that halfback pass again twice in the same series. Really, and almost caught Johnson again off guard, but it looked like they did a little bit better job of defending that.
Mom, why aren't you taking that?
Either way, Johnson not having any problems holding on to the ball.
Perhaps are there jitters coming here to the Metrodome, not playing in some time?
Yeah, well, that could be, and South hasn't played a game in nearly 2 weeks. The first round of the playoffs was 2 weeks ago this Tuesday. And, Johnson playing a game last night, while some of their players have to be worn out, they also are probably more used to playing a game than the Tigers are right now.
A 12-yard run by Baron Taylor on the last play, so Johnson gets another first down. They officially give him a 13-yard gain.
Will.
6 minutes to go in the third. 14-0. Johnson looking to pad their lead. It's a pitch to Rhodes. Rhodes breaks through for another first down. He just carried Dominique Kerr with him for about 10 yards.
Yeah, and Johnson's line is really doing a great job staying with their blocks downfield. That's really what you want to see when you're running the ball, is that they're staying with their blocks and really driving them all the way from whistle to whistle. That really makes it easy for the running backs to run behind them and pick up some yards.
16-yard gain on the play. Fresh set of downs for the Governors, as they continue with their philosophy of pound the ball. Taylor. Now he's looking to pound it forward, and he's through. See you later. Almost. He gets stopped out of bounds. He was ready to say see you later. 20-yard gain, though. 19-yard gain.
Yeah, I really thought he was going all the way there. Just barely got pushed out of bounds, tiptoeing right along the line.
I thought he just was going to sneak past, but Johnson, once again, good blocking leads to wide open spaces for the running game.
Yeah, definitely. And, no surprise there to see him keep pounding the ball. They've got fresh running backs that are rotating in all the time. They've got good linemen that are sticking with their blocks downfield.
We mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, Johnson would make a lot of substitutions, running back by committee. And this time, it's Griffin with the ball. Griffin trying to turn the corner. Now he goes the other way.
Wow.
He's run about 20 yards, and he hasn't picked up anything yet. Now he moves forward. He gets a 2-yard gain, and he ran about 30 yards.
Yeah, definitely one of the longest plays that we've seen this game. Like you said, probably ran at least 40 yards back and forth when it was all said and done, and for a 1-yard game. But on this field, those running backs, they're really going to like to take cuts when they can get them and try to bounce things around.
Only problem for Griffin was he was running east-west. TJ Madsen is down at about the 17. I don't know what happened during that play. Madsen, a hard hitter for the Tigers, and we certainly hope he's okay. That's the one thing I don't think either coach wants to see is their player get hurt in this last game of the season for both squads.
No, and Madsen, one of the few sophomores with a lot of varsity experience this year, has started in the secondary for the better part of 2/3 of the year, and his experience is going to be really valuable going forward as South looks to reload.
So as they tend to him on the field, injuries in the spotlight, but more so concussions than anything else. We know high school football is a physical sport, and players do get banged up from time to time. But what is Minneapolis South, and what do you see other high schools doing when it comes to addressing any potential concussions as more and more research is looked into that health problem?
Yeah, like you said, the research has really advanced quite a bit in recent decades. Mainly with the incredible explosion of popularity of college and pro football, and the really injury management that's had to come about. Finding its way filtering down to the high school levels, perhaps a little bit slower, but still really important for the coaches to take note and to try to manage those injuries.
Should be noted that we're not dismissing or accusing any school of ignoring this issue, but it is worth taking a look, especially as you mentioned, college and pro become widely popular and concussions get more research and now a much more serious examination than even 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of head injuries before the research had been done was really almost taken a little bit more lightly than it should.
Rhodes with the ball, and he finds the hole. Touchdown, Johnson. Sorry to jump on you there. But
Johnson really doing a great job running the ball from all of their backs. Their line is really doing a good job opening up the holes in the middle and on the outside as well, sealing those guys to the inside and making those cuts. Johnson having no problem gaining some yardage here.
12-yard touchdown run.
I'll be on SPN sometime. I will win.
And for the third time, a different Johnson player scores a touchdown. All three touchdowns have come from different players.
Yeah, and it's really what you'd like to see if you're the Johnson coaches, to really gain some experience for a lot of these guys. Taylor and Rhodes, both sophomores. Griffin, a junior. It's really what you like to see, to have younger players step up and take some ownership of the team.
Plaschko lining up for the extra point. He's made 2 of 2. And now he's 3 for 3. 21-0. Johnson leads South with 4:31 to go in the third.
I'm here with Eric. Eric's had a son in the game last night. He's got him playing today. And Johnson, as you know, had a tough loss last night. What did you think about the game last night, Eric?
The outcome wasn't what we really wanted, but defense had a great game, but our offense could not just get it going. Quite honest, our QB kind of had a rough night, but other than that, it was a great game. That was our game. It's just, offense couldn't get it going.
Were you a little surprised on how well you did against De La Salle? De La Salle was very heavily favored.
Yes, I've actually never watched them play, but I heard much about them and seen their scores, and I thought we were definitely in an uphill battle, but we gave them what we had and come up short.
How are the kids feeling about coming out here today? How's this experience been for him so far?
Oh, he loves it. He's been playing since the 3rd grade, and this is what he's shooting for, and he's going to keep excelling, and he's going to be tearing it up.
So how do you see Johnson football in the future? The inner city football, the numbers and the growth. Where do you see Johnson next year?
We're going to be right here. The varsity is going to be right back in it. Probably, I'm sure we're going to make it to state next year. We got last year his team went undefeated as freshmen. This year they're undefeated as JV. So next year I think we're going to have a hell of a team.
Good luck to you and hope to see you back next year. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we just saw how dangerous that can be for Minnesota fans. In the Patriots game with the Vikings, Favre really, getting rocked there with a helmet-to-helmet hit.
And the player that broke his chin was fined $7,500 by the league for that hit.
Yeah, and wouldn't be really surprised to perhaps even see at like the high school level a little bit more severe penalties maybe even being put in to help prevent that.
With so much emphasis on safety in the last few years, I believe it's something the high school league should look at if they aren't already.
Yeah, I believe that the high school league is looking at that. I know that they've talked about instituting suspensions, if it's happened twice in one game.
No suspension for Apaka, who has open space. He finds it, one man to beat, he is gone! And Minneapolis South with some life. Apaka does get chased down, but he's brought down to the 15. But that's going to give the Tigers a lot of momentum.
Yeah, by far the longest run we've seen today on both sides. Apaka really almost going the distance there, chased down by a number of Johnson players.
They spot him at the 13. Unofficially a 68-yard run, and now South finally enters the red zone. And for a program like the Tigers, I guess baby steps, you're down 21-0. You're not going to get them all back in one score. Just do it one at a time.
Yeah, play calling going to be really critical here. Apaka definitely going to have to take a breather after that one.
And they give it to Ellison, but Ellison is wrapped behind the line of scrimmage by Allen White. 2-yard loss on the play. 3-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 13.
Yeah, blocking really going to have to be critical here if they have any chance of getting down into the end zone.
Well, it was good blocking that got that 68-yard run for Apaka.
That's right, but the linemen have to come back down and block again too, and so without a timeout or anything like that, going to be winded.
2nd and 13. Pearson under center, and they draw Johnson off sides, but we'll check the marker. No, it's a false start. South move first. South not doing themselves any favors.
No, and they're going to have to be really careful here. You get 2nd down and 2nd and long, really critical that you have to make up yards here because, if you don't, you're looking at a 3rd and long and really field goal is not an option at this point.
They can get a first down without a touchdown. First down marker at about the 3. Bynum completes. That only gets back to the 15-yard line. Metcalf with the reception, but a 3rd and long coming up for South.
Yes, South not really having a lot of success airing it out today, but probably not going to have any other choice at this point.
Now it's a 3rd and 11. They need to get the ball past the 3-yard line for a first down. But that's key because they can get a first down without a touchdown. So the target is the 3-yard line. Now we see Apaka lining up, and they hand the ball off to him. He doesn't get there, gets to the 11. I imagine South will go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, definitely. And, like we said, field goal is not really an option at this point when you're down by 3 scores. Gonna have to spread the ball out a little bit if South's gonna have any chance of gaining some yardage.
Big play here. They will use Bynum as the quarterback, but a big play here as South looking to get on the board and some momentum and prevent this game from being a runaway. Pearson in the backfield. They have Apaka in one of the receiver slots. Bynum in trouble, breaks free, He's still got to get the ball off, and he does. Touchdown, Minneapolis South. What a performance from Bynum on that play. Bowen Schwenke with South's first touchdown of the game. And Schwenke doesn't get that ball if Bynum doesn't break free.
Yeah, really thought Bynum was going to go down there. Had him deep, 15-plus yards back in the backfield. Bynum really doing a great job scrambling out and keeping that defender at bay, able to fire what was really a long and accurate ball down into that end zone corner there.
11-yard touchdown pass officially as they go for 2. And that's Bynum. Bynum gets the 2 points himself. But a flag comes in late. I believe it came in after the play, so the 2 points should stand, but we'll check the marker.
Yeah, Bynum again showing really great awareness there. Cutting it in under pressure, saw no one was open and decided to take it himself. And really ran into some contact. A lot of quarterbacks will shy away. Didn't shy away from the contact there.
A face mask against Johnson. It will be assessed at the kickoff. So South, just like that, they're right back in this ball game, only down 2 possessions.
Yeah, and wouldn't be surprised to see South come out again with the onside kick and try to keep that momentum going in their favor. If they don't get it, though, their defense is really going to have to step it up here and try to stop Johnson. Really important that Johnson doesn't come back and get another score with this much time left.
Well, again, South made that big stop at the beginning of the quarter on 4th down, and then they moved the ball through the field. Apaka got that big run.
Yeah, all about big plays today. Both plays that were made and missed opportunities. You saw South really unable to hang on to the ball when they had the chance, dropping balls on both sides. And, good that they were able to break open that long run there. It's going to bring this game much more closer.
Well, South scored after Johnson got that 12-yard touchdown run, and you finally see South getting on the board and showing that they have big play ability as well. Apaka with that big run that eventually set up the score. It's a squib kick to Plaschko. Plaschko fields it at the 40, and now he has some space, and he's tackled at midfield. Interesting play calling on the special teams.
Yeah, a little surprised to see the squib. Sort of thought, if they were going to do anything, it would be the onside kick. But those squib kicks can have their advantage too. If that middle line on the receiving team isn't ready, and you have some fast guys down there, you can really cause some disruptions on the return.
1:35 left in the third. 21-8 is the score. If you just joined us. Big plays have defined the day so far. Seachleg under center. Johnson, the running back by committee. They have several weapons at that position, as they have for many years. This is Taylor. Taylor gets to the 42-yard line, an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, Taylor really making some great cuts there, Mike. Playing on this turf, you really almost have like an enhanced ability to make cuts and to really get some explosiveness off of every step. A lot of times the fields for the high school teams, this point in the game in the season, getting kind of wet and mushy. These running backs have got to be really, really pleased with their ability to explode with the ball.
It's not just the running backs who have the enhanced abilities. We saw Bynum break free and make that touchdown pass on South's last possession. Here's Rhodes, and Rhodes moves his way to the 26-yard line. So a 16-yard gain. And as you said, that enhanced ability, the running backs just feel like they have an extra person right behind them.
Yeah, and but really the story of this Johnson's running game is definitely their linemen. Anytime you see one of Johnson's backs going out off tackle, you really can see a number of Johnson's linemen really sticking with their guys and driving them all the way back.
1st and 10. Handoff. South made sure that Trey Griffin was going nowhere but backwards.
Yeah, first time we've really seen South really get some good penetration into the backfield, and on that play was by multiple players.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter with the score 21-8, but Minneapolis South
Lost 7 yards on the play.
making their move.
I'm Dan Olinger alongside Trey Griffin, Johnson High School. How'd it feel to score your touchdown goal?
Oh, it felt great. It feels great to be in Metrodome. Feels good. Just feel good.
All right, can you walk us through the play?
It was right 28 pitch, and I fullback here got the nice block on the edge, cut up, just hit the seam.
So tell us more about how it feels to play in the Metrodome.
It feels amazing. This is where I dreamed to be one day. Just feels great.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Jay and the Johnson crowd, and as you can see, they're winning right now. Say, Jay, we're seeing more and more Hmong kids and Asian kids playing football. How is that coming now?
Good. I guess it looks like he's the smallest guy, but he's still playing. So that's good that I've seen Hmong people playing because we're not that more populated. So we're now more populated, so I want to see more people playing.
Well, I know in the Southeast community, football is now becoming a sport of choice. The Big Flag Tournament at Como. Why are there more not Hmong kids? You're seeing a few, but why aren't there more on the team right now, you think?
I don't know, probably because of small. Because we're kind of small, so I guess people don't want to try it out, you know. Because school is like big for bigger kids, and the one at Como is just like flag football, so they're more into their own size and stuff.
Well, where do you see the future of Southeast Asian and an American football game? Is it growing? Are the kids taking on to it? I see you got the whole family here, so you have a nice representation.
Yeah, I see they're going up to it because I can see South Minneapolis has one Asian kid too. Yeah, so I think there's gonna be more in the future.
Good. Have fun. Enjoy the game. Thank you very much.
And a few of those future leaders we've seen today, Apaka could easily be one. He'll be a senior next year, showing his playmaking ability. Doesn't have that Adrian Peterson type speed, but when he finds a hole, he takes advantage of it. Bynum, he will be a guy to watch just on that last touchdown.
Yeah.
That was all Bynum, but they're going to put in Elijah Ellison, the 5'8 junior, on defense as Johnson looks at a 2nd and 17. This is Taylor. There's a flag on the play. Taylor gets his way to the 28-yard line, so a 6-yard gain close to the original line of scrimmage, but we have a flag on the field.
Yeah, first time in this series is the first time we've really seen Johnson's line kind of falter here in this game. Both plays of this series, you've seen South's linemen really get some good into the backfield.
An illegal contact call against Johnson, so that run is negated, and it will be 2nd down again. And that will also push Johnson a few yards back. All the way back at the 47, they call it the 46, it's at the 46 and a half, but they don't give you halves in football.
Yeah, looking at almost 30 yards needed to pick up the first down here.
So that was a holding penalty.
Watch sweep! Watch sweep again!
2nd and 29. Griffin with a pass to Taylor, and Taylor is pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So Johnson will have 3rd and over 20.
Yeah, really, if it wasn't for the long distance needed to get the first down here, that was a good play on both sides. You saw the receiver roll out right and hit him right on the mark, and our linebacker for South did a good job at maintaining coverage. A lot of times you got these inside linebackers not really used to having to go out and cover somebody. So good job on both sides of the ball there.
3rd and 20. Johnson needs to get the ball past the 19-yard line for the first down.
Trey
Griffin under center. He's done that for the last 2 plays. Finds Rhodes. Rhodes won't even get close. Johnson, I imagine, will go for it here, but they'll have a long way to go, over 10 yards to convert.
Yeah, good open field tackle there by number 9, Charlie Metcalf. You know, always dangerous when you hit those running backs out in the flats and there's no one out there to cover them. Really often have one guy to beat, and then it's almost a certain score. So good job with that tackle.
So Metcalf makes the open field tackle and forces a 4th and 16 for the Governors. And they will go for it. Continuing to go with Griffin under center. I guess as they're looking to get some experience at the quarterback position, find out who to go with next year. Delay of game against Johnson. That is the last thing the Governors needed. It will be 4th and 21 now.
Yeah, really tough to see that for Johnson. You know, you make a couple plays, get some short yards, but you're still making up that long distance you need. You know, last thing that's going to help them is to get another penalty.
So we'll try again. Johnson, penalties killing them on drives, especially the 5-yard kind. Griffin will try to take it himself, has some space on the right side, moves his way through, but it will not be enough for the first down. And when South having that 20-yard cushion, they'll let him run a little bit to set up that angle.
Let him run, but came very close, within about 3 or 4 yards of getting that first down. You know, really saw some, actually some good blocking by their tight end and receiver on this side to allow him to get down there.
South with 2 possessions. And now they'll run the clock, which is Johnson's best friend right now. So they're, because of time constraints, to try to get the next game started on time. Bynum in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. With the sack, Michael Wilson, the 6-foot lineman.
Yeah, not what South would like to see happen. You know, it looked like, it was looking like, you know, South was actually kind of gaining some poise here on both sides of the ball in the last few series with the score, and then stopping Johnson on that last drive. But, you know, definitely going to have to have their linemen communicate and see who's blitzing and what kind of stunts Johnson is running.
And with the rolling clock, South will almost have to play hurry up here to have a chance to win this game. Although, as we mentioned, half of this game is looking at the key players for next year when the coaches form their rosters, as Apaka doesn't get far, maybe to the 10.
Right, and you know, as we were saying, a lot of guys that haven't played together before until the last week, and so, you know, really trying to gel as a team, and, you know, a hurry up situation, not the best opportunity to have to do that.
3rd and 20, although in some ways having this running clock can give South and Johnson, well, Johnson's ahead, but could give South some experience for next year and how to run those 2-minute drills, those 4-minute drills.
Yep, that's true, and really, there is almost not a game that goes by that there is not at least some situation where that hurry up is going to be needed.
Bynum going deep to Schwenke over his head. The clock will continue to roll, even though that was an incomplete pass. It's a 4th down. So as we'll wrap this game up here in 5:55, regardless of what happens, what have you seen from both teams that fans should keep an eye on as these rosters are put together for 2011?
Well, you know, with Johnson, it looks like they've really got some depth at running back, and really got a good core group of front linemen. Would not be surprised to see Johnson come out next year and really run that running back by committee. And it's a great thing to have when you can keep fresh backs to rotate in there. St. Paul's got their competition is improving with Johnson and Central. So it really it's really going to be key to gel the players for next year and to really set the tone. As far as South goes, brand new quarterback. South had their senior quarterback that had played for the last 3 years, and so there's probably going to be some growing pains here having a freshman come out, but lots of opportunity and room for growth. Got a lot of young players coming up, so a lot of work ahead for both teams.
So Johnson gets the ball. That should seal the outcome of the game for all intents and purposes. Now, but you saw Jalen Bynum. I'd say that was the play of the game, breaking free and making that touchdown pass. So what will he bring next year when he moves up to the B team in Minneapolis South? Or the C team, I should say, the 10th grade team.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't be surprised if he...
Griffin finds a hole, and he'll get 7 points or 6 points, and Griffin joins the scoring fray.
Yeah, Johnson really not letting up here, running those off-tackle plays and getting good blocking and cuts. Really impressed with Johnson's running backs today. All three of them have really done an equal amount, and it's really a great benefit to have on the team when you have multiple guys that you can count on to get the ball down the field.
A 25-yard touchdown run. So we were talking about next season, Trey Griffin making sure that he gets noticed for next year, as Plashko is 4 for 4, and that's going to be something that'll help Johnson too. As we mentioned, not a lot of high school teams use a kicking game. Any advantage you can get is a big deal.
Hey, I'm here with Coach Plashko, St. Paul Johnson. Some pretty good hitting.
Yeah, it's been a good game, and this is a fun experience for our kids to play, in a place like this, and get a little extra week of practice. It's been good.
Well, we noticed it was a little slow at the start, but your defense really started sticking to him. A little slow because of last night's game.
Yeah, possibly. Anytime you got 16-year-old kids on Saturday morning, it's hard to get them awake.
Any thoughts about last night? I know De La Salle was heavily favored, and at the outcome, they were lucky to get away with it. Any thoughts on last night's game?
It's frustrating. The defense stoned them. They basically didn't move the ball very much, and we set them up for scores. So, yeah, it's a frustrating night, but hey, they survived, and they were the better team last night.
Well, quickly, you had a great game last night, not the outcome you wanted. Great experience today. Where do you see Johnson football building with last night and today?
Well, I think our young guys, this has been good. I think our young guys can see maybe next year. I think sometimes they forget in the middle of the year that, hey, all these seniors are gone. And hopefully, we think we have a nucleus of kids. It's a matter if we can get them to work hard, get bigger, faster, stronger.
What's the one thing that's got to change to get over the hump? We hear about the Vikings trying to get over the hump. How does Johnson get over the hump over like a game like last night?
No, you just keep working hard. I thought, for us, 2 losses to start the season, then we got playing better. We play our best football at the end of the year. I think sometimes in high school you've got to get the preparation in the offseason to start playing your best ball right away, and I think that's where we've got to get better.
Great. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
And we should note that the mercy rule is in effect at the high school league, but Johnson did not reach the threshold. It has to be 35 points or more when we get to the fourth quarter. Yep. So we should point that out to fans that the mercy rule is not coming into play as Southgate makes the return. Devin Lumbar, 1:38 to go. South, we can get a couple plays off here. Just a lot of things to look forward to, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to seeing how South grows when you go back there and start the 2011 season.
Yeah, definitely. I was the 9th grade coach. We had some pretty good talent on that 9th grade team. The key is just going to be to integrate them in with some of the upper levels of players. Really we've got running 4 teams. Players have the opportunity to move up almost throughout the season up to any level. so the players know that, and really provides motivation. And I think a game like this is really a great opportunity for motivating the younger kids. I would imagine the same is true for Johnson, that it's really it's wide open for next year. You've got another 9 months, and so this game is really an opportunity for players to step up and be noticed.
Not to mention the increased parity in the St. Paul City Conference now. It was Johnson for many years, but now Central and Como Park and Highland have all joined the fray. And so you really don't know who that St. Paul City Conference team to beat is going to be, as Bynum throws an incomplete pass. Moot point here, though, with 35 seconds left. And I'd like to thank you for coming up here on such short notice.
Yeah, well, you know what, Mike, it was a great experience. Not really expecting it to come up here, but definitely something to remember. Calling a game in the Metrodome.
This is the first of several I'll be making, and actually the middle of several with all the soccer games I've called. I've got football coming up here in 2 weeks with the state semifinals, but this was a great primer for it and a great showcase for a couple teams in the Twin Cities Conference. And hopefully, I'd like to see this event grow. Maybe we can get some more teams as the clock expires. Johnson wins 28-8 and wins the inaugural Juniors and Under Championship, but I'm hoping someone out there, a sponsor or players, some type of support, they catch this game and they put their support behind it, because the Twin Cities deserves a chance to be on the big stage like the high school state tournaments.
Yeah, a lot of times it feels like the state tournaments in the upper classes get relegated to the suburban schools, and it's really nice to see the Minneapolis and St. Paul Conference schools really have a chance to come in here and not just show the fans for this year what they've got, but it's a great opportunity to build on for next year. So we really hope to see this continue.
There was a penalty against Johnson, so South will get one untimed down because the second quarter and fourth quarter cannot end on a defensive penalty. So South will get one more chance to get some points on the board, and they're going to take a timeout with 4 seconds left. Almost as if they're upstaging the 8th graders one more time. We've got a youth game between Oxford Jimmy Lee and the PAL Raiders Youth Clubs after this. And now they huddle up. We'll see what happens as they get one untimed down here. And there's Apaka. And Apaka will get a few more yards to the 30-yard line. So big day for him. Definitely the player of the game for South. We don't have a stat sheet up here, but I'd say he easily picked up 100 yards.
Oh, definitely. Really their only option running today at halfback. And so, Apaka really stepped up and did a good job.
And so now it's official. Johnson wins 28-8. And again, thank you for coming up on such short notice. This was great to have you, and it gave us a perspective on the Twin Cities Conference when a lot of folks like to shove them aside, don't give them the respect that sometimes is unwarranted.
Yeah. And it's easy to forget about these city conferences, but they're out here working hard every day and trying to improve, and it's definitely a great opportunity to see them come in here and play a game in the Metrodome.
Stu Voigt will present the trophy to the winning team, Johnson, a former Viking.
Hey, we're here with Stu Voigt, former Badger, former Viking great. Hey, how are those Badgers doing today?
Well, they won today, so they're moved their record, I think, to 8-1. They beat a good Purdue team down in West Lafayette, so it looks like the season's going to turn out well for the Badgers.
Well, give us a quick thought here, Stu. You look at the Badgers, you played for them, you saw their program go down. How do you see the U of M program and Wisconsin in the future? What's your thoughts on the Big Ten?
Well, the Big Ten's pretty strong. That's why it's tough for the Gophers to rebuild and get a good team on the field. Iowa and Wisconsin, some of these teams, they just rebuild very quickly. It's going to take the Gophers a little longer. Well, hopefully they can get a good coach, a quality coach that will build a quality program that will sustain the life, much like the Wisconsin, Iowa, the Ohio States, the Penn States. It all seem to have good programs. It's a tradition you have to start building from the ground up.
Now, do you get a chance to watch any of the high school ball or some of the urban ball very much, or how are you in touch with football at the local scene?
Well, I don't get to that many games. I watch a lot of the highlights and see some of the better players and see some of the games of the week. So I'm very interested in high school football because that's where it all starts. That's where I got my start back in Madison, Wisconsin, playing high school football. And I think it's not only a big part of high school life, but it's a real character builder. I think being part of a team and developing some of the good habits and work habits and leadership qualities starts on the athletic field. So I'm a big believer that high school football and high school sports in general really make a contribution.
Now, you grew up in Madison, of course, played for the Badgers, played for the Vikings. Where do you see Minnesota football at the high school level? Is it on par with Wisconsin, or do you feel it's a little different than maybe some of the other parts of the country?
Well, I think because of the urban areas of Madison and Milwaukee and the influence of the Packers, and I think Wisconsin football may be a little bit ahead of Minnesota football, but not that much. I think the real disappointment has been the lack of players developed in Minnesota over the last few years. It never used to be that way, but the pendulum could swing. Right now, football is very popular in Wisconsin because of the Packers, because of the Badgers, because of the numbers around the Milwaukee area. There's a lot of good football players down there. But then again, you'll get good football players from every part of the United States. It's just a matter of getting those players to go to your schools. Minnesota right now has been losing out on some of the best players in Minnesota, which that tradition has to change or they'll never really be a first caliber team.
Now, you're saying about developing players a little bit better. Where do you think they've lost it in developing players in the state of Minnesota?
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's there's other sports. It's a hockey state. I mean, they're starting to play pretty good basketball. I think it's too bad that athletes limit themselves to one sport. When I played, even in college, I played 3 sports. So I think you play the sport that's in season. You kind of find out which one you're best at. But I think this area of specialization where players will only play basketball or only play hockey or just play football, I don't think that's helps the athlete become a well-rounded athlete, because a lot of times at the early age you're not really sure which would be your best sport.
Now, we've talked about the high school scene. We've talked about the Gophers. Now moving on to the Vikings. The current state of the NFL, the current state of the Vikings. It's every day you read the paper, there's something new happening. What's your general thought that needs to happen or what's going on?
Well, first of all, professional sports are big business. It used to say it was $1 million business. Now it's easily $1 billion business. So money and attitudes and egos and, the coverage, it's all so much bigger and broader and more bombastic than it was when I played. And of course, I played in a great era for Viking football when we went to a bunch of Super Bowls, but now the coverage is 24/7, so these players are even more in a fishbowl. Sometimes they can handle it, sometimes they can't. The money, I think, is almost outrageous, some of these players making these sums of money, and there's a disconnect right now between the average fan and the average citizen and professional athletes. I think a lot of times, and justifiably so, some of these athletes come off as kind of self-entitled rich kids who really don't have an eye or an ear for the common fan or the common citizen, and that's unfortunate because that's much like NBA basketball. That's how a sport will be in decline rather than a sport that's growing like football. But you have to watch that, so we'll see what happens in the next few years.
Well, you said there's a disconnect. And one thing growing up, I identified in the 60s and 70s with your team. Do you think there's any chance that we can go back to connecting anymore? You think that it's gone too far away to being a business?
Well, I think it's a big business for a lot of people, not just the players, not just the coaches or owners. I mean, it's big business for retailers selling merchandise. It's big business for all the different stations. The advent of the all sports stations, the ESPNs and the Big Ten networks, they've got to have people on all the time, and it's getting to be a real business where sometimes the tail wags the dog. In other words, TV and radio and all the different entertainment outlets kind of dictate how games, when they should be played, how they should be played, how much money's involved, and my gosh, I think that also affects the way the game's played, because these coaches realize that it's about sound bites and getting their message across not only to the players but to the fans and to the media and to the sponsors. So I think that's a little unfortunate. The game has grown a little bit too fast and too unrestricted, and I think they have to reel that in a little bit.
Well, hey, thank you very much for coming out, Stu. Appreciate it, and always enjoy your insights.
Thank you.
Have a good day, sir.
Okay, South. Congratulations. Way to put an extra couple weeks in, building bigger, better things. Mr. Stu Voigt, Badger All-American, Viking great. Just want to say a quick word to you. Mr. Stu Voigt.
Hi guys, congratulations on a nice game. It's a lot of fun out here in the Metrodome, so keep working. Maybe someday you guys will be out here also. Stay healthy, keep working out, listen to your coaches. By all means, stay in touch with your schoolwork, and things will work out great. So I enjoyed watching you guys play. Congratulations.
Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay, gentlemen, you had a hell of a tough game last night. Hell of a tough game. I told Coach Plasko during the week, you know, no matter what happened last night, we still had a shot today to have kind of a great memory and go to the next level. So to present to you the Twin City Championship Trophy will be former All-American at Wisconsin, former great with the Minnesota Vikings. You see him on all the time, Mr. Stu Voigt.
First of all, congratulations, guys. I watched that game. Well earned. Good football. Keep it up. I mean, football's fun. Maybe one of these days you'll be out here in a purple uniform. It can happen. You got to work hard. Playing football is a lot of fun. All sports are fun in high school. But to get there, I tell you what, you got to do your work in your classroom, be a good teammate, be a good citizen, and good things happen. So I was impressed by the level of football today, and you guys put it to them well. So who's going to accept this trophy? All right. Good job, you guys.
You picked up the tempo.
We appreciate the practice. J-Squad on three! 1, 2, 3, J-Squad!
You broke it. Thank you once again, Chris Carmen. Great having you.
Mike, thank you. It was a great opportunity and one that I'll definitely not forget anytime soon.
Oh, you won't forget it. We'll find a way to get a copy to you. Stick around. We'll have the youth game coming up between Oxford Jimmy Lee and the PAL Raiders. But until then, this is Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.